Hello, boys and girls. Greg here from the Scary Spirits podcast, here to make you another cocktail. Today, we are making the Jack Frost cocktail, which is the featured cocktail in today's episode. We're going to start 2 cups of ice in our blender. To that, we're going to add 2 ounces pineapple juice. Then blue curacao, 1 ounce of that. Next, 1 ounce vodka or light rum. I'm using light rum because I like rum. 1 ounce. And then finally, cream of coconut. 1 ounce. I should say this recipe is for like a punch that makes 6 servings. I quartered it, so I should be left with about 12 ounces of beverage. We'll see. We'll see how good I am. And then we blend that until the desired consistency is reached. Then we take a cocktail glass, which we have already rimmed with coconut flakes, and we pour it in. All right, let's see. Yeah, not bad. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. See ya.
The power of invisibility is very enticing. Think of the secrets you could learn, the plans you would uncover, the knowledge you could gain. But maybe all that power would drive you mad, like poor Jack in this week's episode of the Scary Spirits podcast, number 61, The Invisible Man. Would it sway you to stay away from invisibility if you knew you had to be nude to achieve the full effect? Or would that just intrigue you more? Either way, we support you. All bodies are beautiful, whether you can see them or not. Cheers!
Welcome to the Scary Spirits podcast. Please be advised that the presenters may use adult language and/or discuss adult situations. This podcast is not intended for younger listeners or those that may be easily offended. So, if you're ready, let's go.
Hi, I'm Greg.
Hey, I'm Karen.
And welcome to the Scary Spirits podcast, the podcast that combines the two very different but highly compatible worlds of scary films and alcoholic spirits, Karen.
What could possibly go wrong?
Indeed. How are you, Karen?
I'm doing great. How are you, Greg?
I'm fucking excellent, Karen.
Ooh, I sense pre-gaming. Yes.
I was working in the garden, planting my black flowers and my skulls. It was a great day.
Planting your skulls.
Planting
Ting.
my black flowers in my skulls. Yes, that's what I did.
As anyone should on a beautiful afternoon.
Well, yeah, it's almost summer. Get out there and plant your plants in your skulls. What are you waiting for, people?
That's what all the cool kids do.
Yeah, everyone needs a skull garden or a Gothic garden, whatever.
I agree.
So far, Karen, still no one has commented on episode 54 on the YouTube channel about my butchering of the drink.
All right, it's time to up the stakes. If you comment on that, you get a prize and I get a prize. I'm out of alcohol that you had to give me. So,
but yeah, go back to episode 54 and
he screws it up
saying, "You screwed up the drink, dumbass, and we'll send you something."
And he'll have to send me something too, because I'm going to start encouraging people. You can do it. Think of the children.
Yeah. It's all about the children, Karen. Always is.
Should be.
Before we get started, Karen, I want to say thanks to all those that listened to our Wicked Ramblings episode, which came out on Father's Day, Karen. Haunt Acting 101.
Well, you should tell them who was our guest.
We had Maximus Bryant, a friend of mine.
Very charming guy.
He was a haunt actor at the Dent Schoolhouse. And so thank you to everyone who listened.
What a perfect Father's Day.
Yeah, those Wicked Ramblings always do very well, Karen. And as long as people keep listening, we will keep doing them, correct?
That's the plan.
Yes. All right, Karen, I believe this week's film was your choice, was it not?
It was.
And Karen, what film have you chosen for us this week?
I chose the 1933 film, The Invisible Man.
Any reason you chose this film, Karen, above all the others available to you?
I've never seen it, and it's in a wonderful box set of Universal DVDs that someone sent me as a gift.
And you got a gift?
I did.
Universal DVDs from someone? I believe they're Blu-rays, Karen.
Oh, they are.
Who could have been so kind to have sent you a box set of Universal Classic Monsters Blu-ray movies, Karen? Who would have been so kind and thoughtful?
Not many people, Greg, but you were so kind and thoughtful.
Oh, don't mention it, Karen.
He's blushing, but I'm just trying to work my way through that. I don't think there are many left at this point.
Well, we haven't done The Mummy. Haven't done Phantom, the opera. I think the others we've done. Have we? Have we not?
Yeah, I think we've done most of them.
We're marking this one off our list.
Check the box.
All right, Karen, might you have a brief synopsis for us?
I do.
Go on.
Let me tell you a story. While researching a new drug, Dr. Jack Griffin stumbles on a potion that can make him invisible. When he reveals his new ability to his old mentor and his fiancée, it's clear that a side effect of the potion is insanity. Jack goes on a violent rampage, and the police struggle to hunt him down, unable to see their target, while his mentor and former partner desperately try to devise a plan to capture him.
Thank you, Karen, for that somewhat accurate synopsis.
Yeah, it's a little loosey-goosey there.
Might we have a cocktail for this episode?
We do. We have a delicious cocktail.
Go on. What is it?
It's called the Jack Frost cocktail.
Okay. What are we going to need and how do we make it?
You need light corn syrup or honey for rimming glasses, flaked coconut for rimming glasses, 2 cups of ice, more or less, depending on desired consistency, 2 ounces of pineapple juice, 1 ounce blue curacao, 1 ounce of vodka or light rum. What did you use?
What do you think, Karen?
Rum.
Yes.
I used rum also.
I was hoping you'd use vodka. That's why I went with rum. But whatever. Let's go on.
And 1 ounce of cream of coconut. To rim the glasses, pour a thin layer of corn syrup onto a plate and dip the rims into the corn syrup. Then dip in the coconut flakes. In a blender, blend ice, pineapple juice, blue curacao, vodka, and cream of coconut until desired consistency is
Or
reached.
rum.
Oh, I said vodka. Yes, or rum. Pour into glasses and serve immediately.
Immediately. So, Karen, my wife gave me this recipe probably 2 winters ago, and she's wanted me to make this drink for her the last 2 winters. And today I finally did, Karen.
So basically, I'm improving your marriage. Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
Yes.
See, I'm so helpful in all areas of your life, Greg.
Well, I left it for her, and then I went and found her later and, asked her how she liked it. And yeah, she thought it was good, but I think it's very, I can taste the rum, right? I imagine if you use vodka, the flavor would be more neutral and you would have more of the blue curacao and pineapple than the rum. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they'd go down
And
awfully
coconut.
easy.
Right?
Yeah, awfully easy if it was vodka, I think.
But I definitely taste the rum.
I like it, though.
I do too. I like rum.
It's good. It's supposed to be a wintry drink, but it's
Yes.
perfect for the summer.
And we should say that the link on our website links to a more of a punch recipe. Correct?
Yes, it does.
Makes like 6 servings, and we quartered it. So this is 1/4. So it makes 2 like little cocktail glasses, I would say, like this full, about 12 ounces. The recipe you just gave.
Yeah, mine's in a beer glass and it fits.
So a pint glass, Karen.
Yes, excuse
Yes.
me, a pint glass.
All right, Karen, should we give our listener time to make his or her own Jack Frost
Absolutely.
cocktail?
Get blended.
Hold on. And we're back.
Yes, we are.
All right, Karen, are you ready to get into the film?
Yes, we already went over that. I watched it on my Blu-ray DVD. Did you watch it on your Blu-ray DVD?
I did watch it on my Blu-ray DVD. I almost watched it on Amazon Prime, just to be different. But all right, you ready?
Yeah, let's tell the people all about The Invisible Man from 1933.
First thing I saw when I started the movie, Karen, was NRA. Did you see NRA pop
I
up on
did.
the screen?
I did.
Yes. So the NRA reared its ugly head once again, Karen. Again, ruled unconstitutional in 1935, but this came out in 33. So what are you going to do? And we have credits. And Claude Rains is credited as the Invisible One.
I thought that was kind of cool. Different.
It's fine. Next, we see a man all bandaged up walking through the snow, and he's on his way to Irving, apparently, because that's what the sign says. He brushes the snow off of. And he ends up at a bar called the Lion's Head, Karen. There's a piano player in there, and he's playing a player piano, so I'm not sure he's really playing.
He wasn't. He finishes playing, everyone claps, and then his buddy puts a coin in and it starts playing and everybody laughs.
Everybody laughs.
Remember when those used to be all over the place, player pianos? You'd see them at like pizza parlors, and now you don't see them ever. The paper would go over and you could see it going and the piano would play.
No, Karen, I don't remember that at all.
They had them.
You must be way older than me.
I am way older than you.
I don't remember ever seeing a player piano
Really?
anywhere.
You didn't go to the fun places, apparently.
Apparently not.
Yeah, they're playing darts and drinking. They're having a good old time in the bar.
Yeah, I like the Lion's Head.
Yeah, it looks like fun.
Yeah, that could be a place I would hang out. Next, the guy enters, all bandaged up,
Yeah.
and he would like a room with a fire, Karen. But of course, it's winter, so they don't have rooms ready this time of year. But they do, make one for him, right?
Yeah, they call the women together to go make the room ready for him.
Jenny, right? There's one. Do you
I think
recognize Jenny, Karen?
she was in the other film where she screamed a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was Minnie or whatever in Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah, Jenny.
She's typecast.
She's the innkeeper's wife. So she readies the room for the guy and her daughter, I guess, right?
Millie. But they don't really have to do much. They fuss a little bit and start a fire and the room's ready.
Yeah, he does want a private sitting room too, Karen. He does.
Yes.
Say. So once they're up there, he says he would like his luggage brought from the station, but it's going to be a few days, and he accepts that if that's as soon as they can do it. But he really wants it now.
They said they'll get it the next day, tomorrow, she says.
Yes, and he would also like some food, Karen. We cut back to the bar, the Lion's Head, all the men in there drinking, and they all think he's a criminal because he's kind of odd when he comes walking in.
Well, yeah, he does have his whole head is bandaged in like one long surgical bandage, and he has dark black goggles on. Not glasses, but goggles.
And Jenny takes his dinner along with a Bass ale, Karen.
Lucky him.
Made a note of saying Bass. Give me a Bass. And then she walked by a sign that said Bass ale. So there's a little product placement. Bass ale is a good beer too, I will say.
Okay.
It's on my list of go-tos when I'm at a restaurant. And if my main beer is not available, I go down the list, and Bass ale is on the list. So Jenny brings him his meal, and he says he wants to be left alone. But she gets back to the kitchen or whatever, and they discover, oh, shit, forgot the fucking mustard, Karen.
It's very important, apparently.
Well, yeah, it is. I would have noticed that shit right off. I'd have said, hey, you forgot the mustard.
Well, then it's his fault. He should have paid attention to his plate.
So Jenny brings it up to him, and of course, she just kind of walks in. She knocks and opens the door, kind of the same move, right? And he quickly covers his mouth
with a napkin.
Yes, and gives him the mustard, and he chastises her for disturbing him.
But she's alarmed, but I don't think she saw anything, right?
No,
but she's very alarmed.
Yeah, because he has his hat off, and
he has tufts of hair sticking out.
He does,
which I guess is part of a wig.
It's a wig, yes.
It does add realism. I was impressed with the tufts of hair. I thought that was a good call on his part.
Yeah. So Jenny goes back down to the bar, and she tells everyone he has bandaged his face all the way up to the top of his head. And the men in the bar hypothesize that he must have had a bad accident escaping from prison, Karen.
Yes, a horrible accident.
Must have fallen and busted his head as he was going over the wall. Next, we cut to the Cranley household, Karen, correct?
Yes.
Did you recognize Dr. Cranley, Karen?
No.
Okay, so Dr. Cranley is the same guy who played Clarence, the angel in It's a Wonderful Life, Karen. This is the second time It's a Wonderful Life has come up. This is Clarence.
Okay. I've never seen A Wonderful Life, so...
This is the angel trying to get his wings, Karen, and It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay.
He's a pretty important character. Can't believe you've never seen It's a Wonderful Life.
It's not a horror film. What do you want?
Don't you like feel-good Christmas movies, Karen?
Not particularly.
All right. So he plays Dr. Cranley. And Dr. Cranley has a large mansion, apparently, Karen, that he likes to do his experiments in.
Yeah, all these people have home laboratories. He's looking at test tubes, puts it in a centrifuge. Spins.
Centrifuge.
Yes.
Mm.
He's working at his home laboratory.
And his daughter comes in, Flora, and she says she is worried about Jack. They haven't heard from him in almost a month.
She dresses well in this movie. She has a lot of fancy clothes.
She's a little melodramatic, though.
Well, yeah.
Then Dr. Kemp comes in.
Well, her dad reassures her. He left a note saying that they might not hear from him, but he'll come back. He's comforting her. It's good to leave to finish a complicated experiment, he says.
Dr. Kemp comes in, and then he and Flora go into another room, and they talk over a pot of flowers, which I thought was weird.
When the camera panned from the one room to the other, there was a big open space.
Opening, right? Yeah, I didn't get that. I was like, okay,
I rewound it because I was like, why is he going through the door? Why doesn't he just walk around? It was weird.
Is that like breaking the fifth wall or whatever? Or is it like the way the house is? I didn't understand it.
I didn't know.
All right. Dr. Kemp tells Flora that Jack meddled in things men should leave alone.
And Flora's very upset. She knows he's in trouble.
Yeah, apparently Flora's his fiance or some shit.
Jack's fiance, yes. But I think this Kemp dude's trying to move in. What do you think?
Well, duh.
Even at this point,
he mentions it later in the same conversation.
But I thought, is he trying to slide in there while Jack's gone? And then later, yes, he is.
But we learned that Dr. Cranley, Dr. Kemp, and Jack were all working on ways to preserve food to help mankind and all that.
All that bullcrap, Greg.
Stuff. But Jack would bar the door and do his own experiments on his own time, which Dr. Cranley said he could do, right? Gave him permission. And then I have Dr. Kemp wants to tell Flora how he feels. So he's trying to slide in there, as you say, Karen.
Well, he also says that Jack will only be able to care about test tubes and chemicals. How could he leave her without a word? He's bad-mouthing Jack, and then he wants to tell her how he feels. But she's not having it.
No, she's not having it. She says, how could you? Leave me alone.
And throws herself onto a pillow or a couch or something. I think it's a window seat, but whatever. She is very melodramatic.
Next, we cut back to the Lion's Head Inn, apparently. And Jack has built himself a little lab.
Yeah, he's got his home lab set up.
Jenny brings him lunch, but he tells her to get out and slams the door on her. She runs away screaming hysterically because that's what Jenny does, apparently.
Jenny is so annoying. In every movie I've seen Jenny in, all she does is scream.
Hysterically.
Yes.
And then Jenny asks her husband to kick him out. He is behind on his rent, apparently. So her husband goes up there and tells Jack he's got to go.
He's pissed because she ruined his experiment. And he keeps saying, I must find a way back. I must find a way back. But then, the barkeep comes in.
Innkeeper comes in, and Jack pleads with him to let him stay. He begs.
He does beg.
The innkeeper says it's either him or his wife, so it's got to be him. He got to go. Plus, he's behind on his rent. The innkeeper begins packing up his things, and Jack don't like that so much.
You don't touch Jack's stuff, man.
So Jack grabs him and throws him out and down these stairs. And again, Jenny is hysterical when she sees her husband with his bloodied skull at the base of the stairs, Karen.
Yeah, she screams hysterically again.
Every time she looks at him, she screams hysterically, even after he's bandaged. So next, the townsfolk they all grab a policeman and they bring him in to come in and help. And I wrote again, Jenny is hysterical. The policeman tries to arrest Jack, but Jack warns them to get away from him. He says, I'll show you who I am. You know, he talks about them peeking at him and trying to figure out who he is and whatever. And he says, I'll show you who I am. And he takes off his bandages, revealing that he is invisible, Karen.
Yeah, he throws the bandage at them and then starts laughing maniacally.
And the policeman says if he gets all of his clothes off, they'll never catch him in 1,000 years. So they all run up to get him.
But Jack takes off all his clothes.
Except his shirt.
Yes.
All we see is a shirt running around the room. And they all chase him as Jack laughs. And finally, he takes off his shirt and they can no longer see him. And he picks up a bottle and throws it at the picture of Jenny on the wall, which I thought was weird. Why is there a picture of Jenny on the wall?
There is, though. But he tells them the secret. He says just some chemicals mixed together and injected under the skin of the arm every day for a month, and presto, you're invisible and you can rule the world. He's taunting them a little bit. He says you can hear every secret, you can rob and rape and kill, and then he smashes the bottle. He's very dramatic, but he is good at letting you know he's getting a little loopy there.
And they close the door to the room, so they think they've got him trapped. But Jack opens the window, but he does not go out, Karen. It's a trick.
It is a trick.
He tells the policeman, "I'll think I'll throttle you," and he strangles him and attacks the other man in the room, and he leaves out the door. He says he's not going to leave like a common criminal.
I thought, won't he be cold?
Yes.
I mean, he's naked.
And then as he leaves and goes down to the bar, he makes a mess of the bar, throwing glasses everywhere, whatever.
Yeah, they're just using the effects of things flying all around.
And he steals a bicycle from one of the townsfolk and goes to the town and wreaks havoc throughout the town as well, Karen.
Yeah, he just messes with the people, knocking hats off and throwing the bike at them and riding the bike down the street. So it looks like it's going by itself.
Next, the policeman calls into the station and reports, there's an invisible man. But of course, they don't believe him. And they think he's had too much to drink because he's at the Lion's Head Inn, Karen.
Yes.
But the policeman gives the innkeeper the phone and he collaborates the story. Next, we see people reading newspapers. Are they reading about an invisible man?
I don't know. I'm back at
It's a real quick cut to people in the city reading newspapers.
I might have missed it.
Yeah, I didn't really get that part. Back at the Cranley house, Cranley and Kemp are searching Jack's room. They find a list of chemicals. The last chemical on the list, Karen, is monocaine.
A terrible drug.
Dr. Karen.
It's made up.
It's not a real drug, Dr. Karen.
Nope.
But apparently it's a terrible drug. It turned a dog dead white like marble statue and made it raving mad, apparently.
It's a drug made from a flower grown only in India, and it draws color from everything it touches.
They decide to tell the police that Griffin has disappeared.
Before that, they do say that they're talking about it, and the report about the dog going mad was only in a German book. So it's highly likely that he doesn't know that this drug turned one dog stark raving mad. So of course it's going to do it to everyone, because that's good science right there.
Is it Dr. Karen?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. So next we see Kemp at his home sitting by the fire in the sitting room, Karen.
Smoking a pipe and reading.
That's what I call it later. And the door opens.
Wait, have you ever smoked a pipe?
Karen.
Like you sitting on the back porch, smoking your pipe?
Have I ever smoked a pipe? Yes, Karen.
With tobacco.
Yes, I have, Karen. With tobacco.
Okay, just checking. So you would be sitting in your sitting room, smoking a pipe, reading.
Maybe. I have.
With your slippers.
Yeah, in my robe and my slippers.
Yeah.
By the fire, as you do. And a news report comes on the radio from the national station, Karen. The national station. But Jack turns off the radio and tries.
Well, they're talking about the invisible man is living amongst townspeople, and the whole village is in a panic. So
Jack, the invisible man, turns off the radio and starts talking to Kemp, and he assures him that there is nothing to be afraid of.
Don't be afraid. It's me, Jack Griffin.
Yeah, and he goes ahead and throws a log on the fire because, of course, he's cold because he's fucking naked.
Yes, he's freezing.
And he asks for a Marlboro, Karen.
Smoke, yes.
And I have an issue here.
Okay.
Maybe we'll come back to it.
He does tell Kemp to sit down, and Kemp sits down.
He asks Kemp for a large dressing bandage and a gown and gloves so that Kemp can see him. Because he feels that Kemp will be more at ease if he can see him as he's talking, right? Like just talking to another person, not an invisible person.
Well, that makes sense. Don't you think that's true?
Sure. Yeah, I'd want to know where he was.
Exactly.
Running around my house naked. I want to know where he is.
Anyone naked in your house needs to report
Right.
where they are, their position. Well, in the house.
Yeah. Yes, Karen. Yes, they do. And Kemp brings Jack the things that he wants, dressing, the
He has them all.
pajamas, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jack tells Kemp to go downstairs and draw the curtains in the sitting room, and he will come back down when he's ready. Jack warns him he will strangle him if he double crosses him, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop him. Apparently, he is all powerful, Karen.
Well, he is invisible.
He is invisible. Yeah.
What would you do if you were invisible? All right. First of all, would you pick superpower of being invisible or flying? Which one would you want?
I've always liked to fly, Karen. On my
You
own.
hate-
I
was
hate
gonna
flying
say-
in a plane.
I
But if I was a pilot, if I was flying myself, I would be, that would be cool. I've always wanted to be like a bird and be able to fly. I don't know, but being invisible, that's pretty cool too.
I think I would only be invisible if I could be uninvisible at some point. I want to be invisible when I want to be invisible and visible when I want to be visible.
Would you have a problem running around naked, Karen? Being invisible?
I would probably worry that I was going to become visible in the middle of somewhere.
Like you might run into like someone dumping a bunch of paint.
Right.
And it would dump on you and
randomly.
all of a sudden you'd be visible.
I just feel sorry for everyone around me then. No, I don't think that would stop me. I think I would like to be invisible sometimes.
But
then would you want to know all that stuff you'd find out? Maybe not. Maybe it's better not to know.
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it?
It's a heavy burden, busting everybody in all their lies. That would be terrible. Take forever.
You only do it if you want to.
True.
It's up to you what you want to do with your invisibility, right?
Yeah, I'd probably be an asshole though with my invisibility.
I'd be a trickster.
Would you? Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I would just listen.
All right. So then Kemp goes downstairs and he begins to pick up the phone, but he stops and thinks better of it. Next, we're back at the Lion's Head, Karen. The police chief decides to have an inquiry right there. He's going to question everyone who thought they saw anything to do with the Invisible Man. He thinks it's rubbish, I think.
He thinks it's a hoax.
Then we cut back to Kemp's house. And Jack comes down and pulls the curtain and locks the door to the sitting room.
They talk man to man now that he can see him,
Yeah.
not man to naked man, and to clothed man.
Yes, he tells Kemp about his experiments. And he had planned on going away and discovering the antidote and coming back as a normal man. But that didn't happen, Karen. The townspeople in the village would not leave him alone. And he had to teach them a lesson, as you do.
Especially if you're invisible.
He says at first it was just an experiment, but then he realized the power it gave him. Enough power to set the world right.
He wants to have the world grovel at his feet. That's how he wants to set it right. He's power hungry.
He tells Kemp he must have a partner, a visible partner, and Kemp will be his partner. He says, and I'm quoting,
I have it too.
"We'll begin with a reign of terror. A few murders here and there. Murders of great men, murders of little men, just to show we make no distinction." That's the end of my quote.
He might even wreck a tree or two.
Train.
Oh, a train or two. Sorry.
Not a tree, Karen.
I can't read my own writing. A train. I don't think that's where my mind would go right away if I was invisible to a reign of terror.
If the shit that made you invisible made you crazy, that's where you would go.
Right. But, well, your darkest personality traits would start to come out. But
yes.
Yeah. But I wouldn't go. I think, well, it's like they said in all the movies we watch, it would only be what you would be capable of in real life, maybe. But he talks crazy. He laughs maniacally. He's obviously affected by the drug.
Yeah, makes him crazy.
Yep.
But Jack tells Kemp to go back to the town where the Lion's Head is and collect his books because that's where all his research is written.
They're going to go together.
Yeah. He tells Kemp to go warm up the car. They're going to go right now.
But Kemp says, but it's past 8 o'clock. Like, it's like, I think you can still go. The bar is still open at 8 o'clock.
But he does tell him to warm up the car because it's cold outside when you have to go about naked, Karen.
Yes. He wants a blanket or something.
Yeah. Don't I know it? So Jack tells Kemp to park about 100 yards away from the town, and then they will go in and retrieve the books. You will go in to the Lion's Head Inn and open the window and give
Jack
the
will
books
go
to
in
Kemp.
and do that. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's fucking invisible. Of course he will.
And Kemp's going to wait under the window, and Jack's going to throw the lab books out the window.
Next, we cut back to the Lion's Head Inn, and townspeople are all giving their stories. And of course, the police chief doesn't believe them. But Jack and Kemp arrive. He tells Kemp to stroll up and down as if he is waiting for something, which he is.
I thought he said waiting for someone, but
Whatever. And he tells him to watch for the window above to open. Then Jack sneaks into the room and gathers his books. He opens the window and drops into Kemp. Cut to the police chief, and he's telling the townspeople they're all lies. It's a hoax. They're all lying. They will be the laughingstock of the whole country. Of course, Jack comes in then and picks up the inkwell and throws it on the chief. He begins throwing things around the bar. Jenny jumps up on the table and is hysterical.
hysterically screaming again. The invisible man is here. He's here.
Townspeople all run away. Jack strangles the chief and hits him with a chair.
Yeah, he's mad that the police chief called it a hoax. So he smashes his
like
head.
that much. And then Jack tells Kemp he killed the policeman once they're back in the car.
But he didn't, did he?
Apparently he did.
Oh, I thought he shows up later.
No,
and says
he does
was
not.
choked. That's someone else, I guess.
Next, we cut to Cranley, and he's at the police station. He's about to go in, and then we hear, extra, extra, invisible man.
So Cranley was originally talking to Kemp, and they were going to go to the police and just say that
He was missing.
he was missing, and he must have a friend on the force because he's going to go talk to the specific detective when he's on duty.
But he doesn't. He leaves after he hears that shit. He gets a paper, of course. Next, we're back at Kemp's house. Jack explains to Kemp that after eating, he must remain hidden for an hour, Karen, because the food is visible inside him.
Until it's digested.
So Karen,
kind of gross.
If the food is visible inside him, how come we didn't see the smoke entering his lungs from the Marlboro?
Oh, that's your problem.
That's my problem.
Yeah, that's a good point. See, you noticed that. I said no hair in these bandages.
He took his wig off.
I know, but I did like the hair. That's a good point. You should have seen it in there.
Yeah. He also says he can only go out on clear days. The rain or fog, he can be seen. Sticks
Well,
to him.
because it was and puts an outline around him so you could see him move. It doesn't make him appear, it just provides an outline.
He says even in like industrial cities or areas, the smog will stick to him and he can be revealed. And Kemp is to keep his feet clean.
Yes. And even the dirt under his fingernails could give him away.
Yes.
Maybe he doesn't inhale.
He only took like one drag, but still, I mean, that's all we saw. But anyway, but Kemp leaves and Jack gets ready for bed.
He undresses, but leaves his pajamas on.
Yes, he's naked, Karen.
No, he has his pajamas on.
And then he puts on his pajamas. Lots of naked men in this film. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I can't count anything because they're invisible.
Next, we see the police carrying the chief out of the Lion's Head.
Yeah, I
He's
guess
gone, Karen.
yes, I see now that I do see that he is not coming back.
But the chief of detectives has a plan. They're going to comb the countryside for 20 miles around. He is mad and he is invisible, but they will get him.
There's a bunch of men in hats and they have a plan. And each man in a hat is assigned an area to search. He's mad and he's invisible, but he's still human. So they're going to find him. And then what do we get?
Well, they put 1,000 men out tonight. And then we have, Karen, a montage.
Yes.
Of the police dispersing, I wrote.
Of the searching. He will leave tracks even if he is invisible. But there is a montage of searching and sticking with sticks and trying to find him.
Next, we hear a radio broadcast. Well, we're at a dance, Karen. And there's
We're at
a
a
radio
dance hall.
broadcast.
Everybody's dancing.
Warning the people about an invisible man on the loose. And he must work in the nude, Karen. He will seek shelter because he's nude, Karen. He needs to keep warm. And the people are urged to keep their doors and windows locked to keep the nude man away from them.
Now, the man has made himself invisible by scientific means.
And he's nude.
Yeah, they do like to say he's nude. And they do need volunteers to look for him. There's a £1,000 reward. And they're going to form search parties. And then what do we get?
We get another montage, I wrote, Karen, of doors locking.
Doors and windows being locked.
To protect themselves from the nude man. Nude man on the loose.
Hey, you're already halfway through the podcast. What do you think? If you like what you hear, can you take a minute and follow us on social media? At Scary Spirits Podcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Thanks so much for listening. Now let's get back to the show.
So next, Kemp calls Cranley. He tells Cranley that Griffin, Jack, is the invisible man.
And he's at his house.
Yeah, Cranley says he will come in the morning. Yeah, I'll come in the morning. It can wait.
He says he's a raving lunatic. But he says if they come now, it'll look suspicious.
And he tells Kemp to keep Jack calm. Just then Flora enters.
In an elegant gown. But I think it's her nightgown. But right after telling Kemp that they're the only two that know and they should keep it that way, he blabs to Flora.
Tells her that Jack is the invisible man. Next, we have another montage I wrote, Karen, of people calling the police, giving them ideas on how to catch the nude invisible man. Next, Kemp calls the police and tells them that Jack is in his house. And he says, well, I only got 5 men available. He says, oh, he's here. And he says, all right, we'll be out there soon.
I think the men on the phone montage was kind of telling you that the police had to go investigate all these different crazy ideas. So when Kemp finally calls, there's hardly anyone in the station at that point because they're all on goose chases everywhere else.
That's the point of the montage, yes. But Flora pleads with her father to let her talk to Jack back at the Cranley house.
She says she can do more than both of them.
Yeah.
Because he loves her.
Yes. She asked her father to take her to him now. He says it can wait till morning. And she says, it's a matter of life and death. If need be, she will go by herself, Karen.
Heaven forbid she go by herself.
How will she get there? She'll have to have some driver. She can't drive.
Too delicate.
I'm just assuming.
I bet she can drive.
Next, we're back at Kemp's house, and Jack confronts Kemp in the sitting room. He asks Kemp why he locked the door. Kemp said he was afraid. He was frightened. He says, if there was an invisible man running around your house, you'd be frightened too. Jack tells him there's no reason to be scared. They are partners.
And they should sleep.
Yeah. Just then, Flora and her father, Cranley, arrive. Apparently, Jack's forgotten all about Flora.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Flora.
Jack tells him to let him in. He says he will see Flora alone.
He really does. He goes, oh,
Says,
how could I have
how
forgotten
could I have
about...
forgotten?
Oh, yeah, Flora.
Flora, my fiance.
The woman I love. Just completely forgot about her.
And Cranley and Kemp, even though they're like fucking food scientists, think they can cure his insanity, Karen. I don't know what their credentials are, but they were working on food preservatives, is what I gathered so far.
So was Jack, so he can,
But apparently they think they are the only ones who can cure his insanity. I don't know. But Flora goes into the room to see Jack.
Flora's dad says, no, you're not going up there. Kemp says he was calm when he talked about her. She'll be fine. So Kemp actually convinces them that Flora should go to the room. Are you finished with your drink now?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
So Flora goes in the room and he remembers her then.
But while she's in there, Kemp tells Cranley they must prepare. They must prepare to capture Jack while he was asleep. They will chloroform him and tie him up. But cut back to Jack and Flora. And Jack, of course, says he did it all for her, Karen, even though he didn't remember her until just now.
way to pass the blame.
He had nothing to offer her. He was just a poor, struggling chemist. He says he will cure himself and then come back to Flora, and he will release his invention on the world and the power it holds. People will pay millions for it.
He wanted to do something tremendous to gain wealth and fame and honor.
For Flora.
Yeah, not for him. He does say when he offers his secret to the world for a price, the one who wins the bidding war will rule with invisible armies.
Invisible armies. Invisible nude armies.
Invisible naked armies.
Yes.
Did you catch when Flora says, my dad will help you back? And he says, your father has the brain of a tapeworm, a maggot next to mine.
Yes, that's the next thing I have. Jack rejects the intelligence of Cranley. He talks only of power.
To rule, to make the world grovel at his feet. I'm going to tell you next time. You have the brain of a tapeworm, Greg. A maggot. That's I like that insult. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Next, Jack sees the police arrive through the window.
I don't know why he thought Kemp wouldn't call the police.
There's a lot more than 5 of them, Karen.
Yes.
There's a shit ton more than 5. Police dude said they only have 5 guys at the station. There's like 30 guys arriving now.
Maybe that's why it took a while.
Yeah. Jack tells Flora she must leave. He will take care of the policeman.
She does tell him to hide. So she's still trying to help him. And he promises he'll come back to her.
The police form a human chain around the house, Karen, linking, hand in hand.
Like Red Rover. Remember
as you
game?
Do. Holding hands and forming a circle. Kemp opens the window and Jack thanks him. Apparently he's all nude again in Jack's sitting room. Tells him he will be back at 10 o'clock the next night to kill him.
Yeah, Jack tells Kemp that.
Then Jack goes out and messes with the policemen for a while, punching them and twisting their noses and taking their hats and
their pants.
Takes the pants off of one guy, breaks
after
through their
spinning him in the
chain
air.
Escapes. Yeah. Next, we see a woman running down the street hysterically, being chased by a pair of pants.
Just a pair of pants. That was pretty funny.
Yep. Next, we cut back to Kemp's house. The police promise Kemp they will protect him. And the police question Cranley and Flora about why they are there. And they ask about Cranley's other assistant, Jack Griffin. And Kemp spills the beans. He tells them that it is Griffin. The invisible man is Jack Griffin.
Kemp's freaking out a little bit.
Well, yeah, he's going to come kill his ass.
Yep.
Next, we see men beating bushes, looking for Jack. He grabs one of them and throws him over the cliff. And then another. He says, aren't you glad you found me? And he throws him over the cliff.
Yeah, he's deteriorating.
And then we're at a train station. He hits a man over the head and he changes the tracks, causing a train to go off the rails and over a cliff. Next, we're at a bank, Karen, and he's stealing a drawer of money, and the drawer of money floats through the bank.
And no one notices it.
No one notices.
No one notices
until
that.
he's out on the sidewalk and he begins throwing money, and the people all come and grab the money as people would. Next, we see the chief of detectives, Karen, giving a press conference, and Renfield has questions, Karen.
Yes, he does.
Yes, so Dwight Fry is the reporter, Karen. Renfield, your favorite Universal actor. I think that's why you picked this movie, just to see Dwight Fry once again.
Probably. Subconsciously, even.
So Dwight Fry, who played Renfield in Dracula, and he's like in every Universal movie, I think, Karen. He's a reporter and he's asking questions.
Yeah, he asks different things. One, he asks about the bloodhounds, but the bloodhounds have lost the scent.
Why not repave all the streets with fresh tar?
He's too smart for that. Did he say 100,000 men are searching? That's what I have written here, but that's a lot of men.
That's a lot of men.
So I don't know if that's what they really said. I could be exaggerating.
But the chief does say they have one means of catching him, but he will not reveal it in case Jack is in the room listening.
Yes, because he could be nude.
Naked. Next, we are back at the Cranley's house. Cranley tells Fleur there's nothing they can do. They can only hope the police take him without harming him, Karen.
She's crying in her room.
Next, we see the police practicing dragging a net in Kemp's sitting room.
I thought that too, but I think they're dragging it not to practice, but to actually see if Jack is in the room.
Yeah,
I put that too first, that they're practicing, but then I realized no, they're doing it to see if he's in there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I thought that was pretty clever.
He does put a couple people and a couple of cops in front of the window right after that. Yeah, that's probably what they're doing. Yeah, I didn't get that.
I thought that was clever.
Good for you, Karen. You figured that out and I didn't. Yep. So, but the chief of detectives is going to set a trap for Jack. And he wants
they know he's coming back because...
Yeah, because he's coming back at 10 p.m. to kill Kemp.
Why would you announce that?
Yeah, he wants to use Kemp as bait.
And Kemp, being the strong, courageous man he is, decides, no.
But they alter the plan. They do come up with a plan, but they alter it. And they said, we'll take Kemp to the police station because that would be normal. Like they would take him there under police protection. And then once they're there, Kemp can put on a police uniform and they can sneak out. And then he can drive away to the country. And he's not to come back until he hears that Jack has been captured.
It's not a great plan, though, because they're taking him back to his own house. Why didn't they just take his car to the police station or something?
I don't know.
Why does he have to go back to his house? That's stupid.
I don't know.
Anyway.
But the chief of detectives gives 20 police officers paint guns so they can spray on Jack. And he's going to put some loose soil on top of the wall so they can see if he disturbs it. And this is around the police station.
Yes, because that's where Kemp is.
Yeah. So next we see the police guarding the wall to the police station. And Kemp is taken back to his house dressed as a policeman.
Well, they march him in. So Kemp is in the middle of, what would you say, 10 policemen?
Yep.
And they march him from his house, I think,
to the police station.
To the police station. So the policemen are in a square formation. Kemp's in the middle, and they have a net around them so that they know that Jack can't get through it. And they get him to the police station. He changes clothes, and they take him back to his house.
Yes. And Kemp drives away. He says he's going to the mountains. And then at precisely 10 o'clock, Jack reveals himself to Kemp in the back of his car. He says he has been with him the whole time to the police station and back, and just, walking along, watching what they're doing.
Freezing his ass off. Because he's naked, because he's
Yeah.
holding on to the car as they drove back. And
Yeah. Then he ties Kemp up and pushes the car over a cliff with Kemp in it.
and laughs.
He gone.
Yeah, it was quite a good explosion as the car went out. Wasn't a very steep cliff, but got the job done.
Yeah. Next, we see the police brainstorming how to catch Jack. Cut to a barn. Apparently, Jack is sleeping in hay.
He's cold. He needed to find shelter.
Oh, yeah, he's naked.
Wait, is he? Is he naked?
Yeah, you can't see him.
He burrows
hay.
into the straw.
The hay, yes.
I said hay too, but the farmer called it straw.
All right. Next, we see it snowing, and a farmer enters the barn, and he hears Jack snoring
Yes.
and sees the straw moving, right, Karen? Next, we cut to the police station, and the policemen say, "It's snowing. This is our chance to catch him." This is their big chance here. Next, the farmer comes to the police station and tells them he hears breathing in his barn. And the policemen all head to the farm. And they surround the barn.
Which has no windows. There's only
No
one
windows.
way.
There's only one door in and out. That's it. So the police set fire to the barn and they put a searchlight focused on the door so they can see it open. The door opens and the police all walk towards the barn. And they see Jack's footprints in the snow, Karen. The chief of detectives fires his handgun at the footsteps and shoots Jack. And he makes an imprint in the snow.
With no blood.
No blood. Next, we're at a hospital. Doctor says the end is near, he fears. The doctor asks Cranley to bring Flora.
Yeah, the bullet crossed both lungs. It's
Yep.
untreatable.
Doctor says when Jack passes, the drug will wear off and he will become visible again.
The body will become visible as the body dies.
How convenient.
Yes.
So next, Flora arrives. She goes to see Jack and he's still invisible and he apologizes and says he wanted to come back to her.
But he failed.
He meddled in things men should leave alone. Second time we've heard that line, Karen.
Yep.
And then he gone and he eventually reappears. First we see his skull and then his flesh.
His full makeup is what I wrote.
And then we fade to black, Karen. The end. Credits.
So how'd they make him invisible in 1933 without the green screen? Did you look it up?
I did not, but it's pretty good.
It is really good.
It's
And
pretty
I
good
looked it
effects.
up, but
There are times when
you can
he's
see.
wearing clothes that are transparent. You can see through his clothes. So that tells me it's like double exposure, right?
Yeah, it's multiple exposure, even more than that. But the simple version is to create the illusion that Rains was invisible, the filmmakers wrapped parts of him in black velvet and filmed him in front of a black background. This made whatever part of his body was supposed to be invisible seem to disappear. But they did
Almost
it
like a green screen, but it's
right. But they did it it was multiple exposures of him.
when there were camera tricks, you could tell.
But
You
it
know
was
what I mean? But
impressive.
for 1933, yeah, it was
Yeah.
very good.
I think it still holds up. He looks invisible. I mean, he looked invisible the whole time.
This film was remade, Karen, just like a few years ago. Did you happen to watch the remake?
I did not.
Yeah, me either.
Scientists are working on invisibility cloaks, but they're not very successful yet. But they're getting there. So that would be interesting. No, I haven't seen any remakes.
Well, I mean, not really invisibility. They're not really invisibility cloaks. They're
Well, that's what they call them.
yeah, but they're really, illusions. Like,
Well, that part, some of them are, but some of them aren't. But I didn't understand the metal dielectric composites that are engineered. I was like, yeah, can't explain that to people. So there isn't a whole lot of evidence for sequels after this. He basically
dies.
died. Yes. He didn't run off with Flora and have a little invisible babies.
no,
I was a little disappointed in that.
I suppose that's your fiance, right?
Yeah. Jack was.
They don't make a big deal about Kemp's death, do they, at all?
No. No,
He just gone and okay, whatever.
They gloss over that.
It. Maybe they never found the body, Karen. Who knows?
Well, his car was there, but
All right, Karen. Anything you were pleasantly surprised by or really enjoyed in this film besides the special effects?
well, yeah, the special effects were really, really good. I liked it. I thought it was a good film.
Especially for 1933. Yeah, it was better than I thought it would be. I never sat and watched the whole thing. As I was watching it, I was like, yeah, there were things I thought I'd seen before, but I don't think I've ever sat and watched the whole thing in one sitting and really taken it in, Karen.
I like the story. I have never read the H.G. Wells version, so I don't know how close it is to that. But I bet it's pretty close. Although who knows? They do take lots of liberties in these movies.
You've never read the H.G. Wells story, Karen?
No, have you?
No.
Okay, well, no.
But that's something I would expect of you, Karen, not me.
I'll get on it.
Anything else?
Some of the acting was good, some of it wasn't. So, but I did. I liked the story. I liked the special effects. What about you?
Do you think Claude Rains was good as Jack Griffin? You know, we never see him until the very end. It's mostly voiceovers, right?
Do you think he was? But I think he was doing all.
He was doing all the voiceovers and
all the acting in the pajamas and stuff.
He did have a stand-in that did some things. So I'd read something about, if we really pay attention, his body double is like a lot taller and whatever than him, but whatever. He's an invisible naked man. What are you gonna do?
I thought he was good. I thought it showed he was definitely deteriorating into crazy town. It was a little over the top, but a lot of the actors at this time played things a little over the top, I think. So I didn't think he was bad. I think he was a big deal at the time, wasn't he?
Claude Rains?
Yeah.
He's in a few of these. I mean, he's in Phantom of the Opera too. He's Phantom of the Opera, and that one we haven't done yet. Robin Hood and whatever. Yeah. He's a very popular actor. Thought he was good. I believed he was crazy. Right? That's what you do.
It makes you think. I mean, you think they're trying to say, who would you be if no one was watching? Would everybody go down a dark path if there was no one paying attention to what they were doing?
If you had to be naked? I'd stay inside during the winter.
I mean, psychologically, would people start doing...
I'd do all my creeping in the summer, Karen.
Your evilness would come out if no one was paying attention to you. Like, what would you do if you couldn't get caught or wouldn't get caught? That kind of commentary.
Yeah, that's a interesting question.
I don't know if that's what it was certainly a comment on madness and sociopaths and things like that, where his immediate go-to was to cause havoc and have a reign of terror. I don't think that's what I would do right away. I hope not, anyway.
I don't either. It's not what I would do right away.
I would gather intel, but maybe you'd get bored after a while and start doing stupid shit. I don't know.
Right.
I'd always be creeping, listening. That would be me, listening.
And there was a sequel to this, Karen.
Was Flora invisible? Did she find the formula?
No. Actually, the sequel stars Vincent Price. The Invisible Man Returns. Apparently he gets the formula from a relative of Jack Griffin or some shit. And there's several sequels, Karen.
Well, I'm sure if it was successful, they...
And you have the Invisible Agent, and then you have the Invisible Man's Revenge, and
ooh, there you go.
Which doesn't have anything to do with Griffin at all, but movie studios do as they do. Karen, was there anything you were very disappointed in this film?
Well, Jenny screaming and the hysterical stuff, that was silly. That didn't need to be in there. all of these movies have to have
She's
some
comic
sort of,
relief again.
yeah,
That's
I
what
know,
she
but
does.
it was annoying. I didn't like that.
Anything
And
else, Karen?
well, you mentioned the glossing over of what's his name's death
Yeah,
in the
Kemp's.
car. Kemp's death. That was a little. They kind of make him out to be a good guy at the end when he comes back, and he wasn't. He was terrible. But he was affected by the drugs. So I
Yeah.
guess when he comes back dead, then he's not affected by the drug anymore. So you can like him again.
Yeah, it's not his. Wasn't his nature to be. It was.
It was
It
absolutely
was all
his,
about the drug,
I
Karen.
don't. Well, I think there was a little bit in there to start.
Made him cray cray.
Some of the acting was a little over the top. Jenny was a little over the top, a lot over the top. Flora was a little over the top, I think.
Yeah, she'd have nice gowns. So don't
She
you think,
did.
Karen?
I thought so. I thought she was pretty. So I know maybe not your type.
I didn't make a note, Karen.
So what about you? Anything you were disappointed in? I will say one more thing too. While I was watching it, I thought that he ended up in a barn with no windows and only one way in and out seemed a little
Convenient.
careless on his part. He seemed much smarter than that through the whole thing. And then all of a sudden ends up, I know he was cold because he was naked.
The end does seem rushed.
All the ends seem rushed in these films, but he just seemed like he would have been smarter than that because he was outsmarting them the whole time. And then he ends up in this convenient place for him to be killed. So that was a little disappointing. I realized they had to do it. They had to, the tracks in the snow was cool that they could see him, but you would think he would do something like wipe the tracks away as he walked so they couldn't tell where he was exactly or something. And then stand still.
I'm not sure I could do that, Karen.
I don't know. At least run.
You'd have to have a broom or something in your hand, and then
he
they
had
would see
straw.
a broom.
I guess that's true.
Sweeping.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. It just seemed like all of a sudden
his tools were not invisible. He was his
most important tool is invisible, but you're right. I don't know. It just seemed a little convenient that he ended up there. But were you disappointed in anything?
Nothing that you haven't brought up, I don't think. Well, I would have liked to seen the Marlboro smoke in his lungs.
In 1933, that would have been hard, I bet.
That would have been cool, though.
True.
I haven't seen the 2020 remake, but I bet that's in it.
Probably.
It was better than I thought it would be. Like I said, I never sat and watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I liked it.
That was good. Were you happy to see Dwight Fry, Karen? Did that make your day?
It did.
Your favorite Universal actor, Renfield. I wasn't crazy about Flora. I liked Dr. Cranley, though. Clarence from
I did like
The
him
Wonderful
better than the other dude. Did you like the drink?
Hi, Karen. Yeah, comments on the drink.
I like the drink. I should say I picked it because of the ending that he does walk in the snow.
You know, Karen, that was wicked clever. You're so clever.
And so
it's
this
called
is called
Jack Frost, and his name was Jack, and he got
busted by
in the snow
by the frost.
Yes.
So he left footprints in the snow. So that's why the drink is what it is. It's good. I like it. I could sit by the pool and drink a couple of these in a nice tall glass, you know,
with your big hat
and my SPF 500. Yes.
Yeah, it was fine. It was good.
I thought you would have liked the drink.
Well, I do. It was fine. Yeah, it was good. Next time, maybe I'll make it with vodka and see how that is.
That would be good too, I think, the coconut rum.
Yeah, so I drink it with a straw, so I never really got the coconut rimmed on the glass.
Well, you don't like it.
I don't like it in food, but in drinks I do like it. So yeah, I don't know. It was good. Yeah, I could have a few of those.
With a flower floating in it. That's what I'm telling you, right by the pool. You'd have to carry me back up to the room and keep me there.
I've been there, done that, Karen.
True.
Not with you.
We've all been there, as you like to say.
Yes. Usually it's me. Every now and then it's not. Yeah, it's a good drink. Anything we learned today, Karen?
We learned a little about the magic of special effects in 1933. You never answered the question of whether you'd rather be invisible or have the ability to fly.
I think I'd rather be invisible.
As long as you could become
so
visible.
many more doors.
As long as you could be visible again. Would you want to stay invisible forever? I don't think so.
No, probably not forever. Ideally, I would like to be invisible when I want to be.
Yes, on command.
Yes, Karen.
You could be nude whenever you wanted.
That has nothing to do with it.
You keep telling yourself that.
Anything else, Karen, we learned?
Kind of gross when you think about it. I mean, the nude guy could be sitting in the chair next to you, ugh, walking around, ugh, bumping into you. It'd be gross. All right, sorry. Is the next movie your choice?
That's all? That's all we learned today?
I don't think we did anything else, did we?
What was the chemical? Monochrome?
Monocaine.
Monocaine?
It's fake. We learned the angel in It's a Wonderful Life was in this movie.
Yeah.
Renfield, my favorite Universal actor, was in it.
Yeah. I feel like there's lots of science in this film, Karen, for you not to be commenting, Dr. Karen.
Well, it's a made-up drug. How am I supposed to comment on that?
Nothing about the experiments, like cut your eye, anything, nothing.
Well, no, because all he said was he injected it under his skin every day for a month. You're the one who brought up the smoke in the lungs. You were disappointed by that. I mean, if the food is visible in his stomach, then you would think the poop would be visible in his intestines. Like what?
Yeah.
Unless it takes time for the drug to react with the tissue, and that's the hour, then
could be.
You wouldn't see it, but
well, Karen, how long does the poop last in your intestines?
I don't know.
Depends, like 12 hours or something.
Depends on how regular you are. And you don't clear out your bowels every time you poop. Everybody who's had
Karen, everybody poops.
Yes. But everybody who's gone for the test after 50 knows that you clear out a lot of stuff. And you think there couldn't possibly be more. There is. But I'm sure they can explain it away in an hour. That's how long it takes the drug to take the color away from it.
Okay.
But taking all the color away from something makes it albino, not visible. So we still see it as white. So I don't know exactly how that works.
Did they know all that shit in 1933, Karen?
I don't know. I mean, lack of pigment is albino, and there are albino people.
Okay. Anything else?
Somebody needs to count how many times we said nude in this or naked. Think we passed 50?
Probably. Yes, probably. We probably said naked or nude 50 times.
We did learn that if you're nude in Greg's house, you have to tell him where you are. We did learn that.
Did we?
Yeah.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently you can roam freely in my house.
All right, Karen. How many cocktails do we give in this movie?
I really like this movie. It's a solid.
Go on.
I have to almost give it a 3, but I'd give it a 2.5 if I could. But we've given really good movies too, so I think it has to be a 3. What do you think?
I'll go with whatever you say. 3 cocktails.
You have no opinion?
No, I could have been persuaded to give it a 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
I would have been fine with either.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie. It's better than I thought it would be.
Much better. It's kind of like The Creature from the Black Lagoon. They were both really good movies, and I didn't expect them to be.
Well, Karen, I knew The Creature from the Black Lagoon was a good movie.
I hadn't seen it, so I'm really impressed having watched these Universal films. They're really good.
What did we give The Creature?
I think we gave it a 2.
Did we? We did give it 2.
Yeah, but we gave Dracula a 3. I think I don't know. It's a tough one. It's good. I could
Creature's
give
a little
it
longer. There's more to The Creature than to this. I feel like it's later. I think it's the longest one in
I
that
really
whole.
like this one, but I wonder if it's because I've seen some of the other ones so often that they didn't affect me the same. They're probably good, just as good as this, but I've seen them so often it doesn't have the same effect. I was impressed with this movie, though.
Okay. I was too. It was better than I thought it would be. So we're giving it a 3.
Yeah, we'll give it a 3.
But like I said, I could have been, if you just said 2, I'd have gone with it. So,
Well, do you want to give it a 2?
nope. I'm not sure it's as good as The Creature.
If its smoke wasn't as long as we'd have given it a 2.
Yes. If only.
But definitely impressive special effects for 1933. I mean, out of all the Universal movies we've seen so far, this one is the most impressive in that way.
I think that the same dude did all the special effects in all those films.
It's impressive. Just even the footprints in the snow and, all that stuff. They had to basically pull it out of their ass, and they did.
All right, Karen, next film.
Yeah, the next film is your choice.
Oh, is it my choice, Karen?
It is. I think it's number 62.
Yes, Karen. Episode 62.
What do you got, Greg?
Well, Karen, we're going to watch a film called The Satanic Rites of Dracula.
Awesome. What year was that made?
It's from 1973.
Wait, what's the Hammer film we watched?
The Horror of Dracula.
Okay.
From
So this is the
1958.
sequel.
Yeah, Horror of Dracula is from 1958. The Satanic Rites of Dracula is 1973.
All right.
Much later. Still a Hammer horror film starring Sir Christopher Lee, Karen. And I do have a cocktail.
Can't wait to hear what that is. What is it?
Cocktail I have chosen is called the Black Death.
Wow. Okay. What do we need for that?
We're going to need vodka, blue curacao, butterscotch schnapps, coffee liqueur, as in Kahlua or whatever, right, Karen?
Okay.
And Everclear.
Oh. So there's no mixer.
No, Karen. It's vodka, blue curacao, butterscotch schnapps, coffee liqueur, and Everclear.
That's going to be a tough one. Is it a shot?
I'm going to put them all in a whiskey sour glass, so an old-fashioned glass. And you drink it through a straw, it says, Karen.
Oh, my God. I might.
Well, it's called the Black Death.
I might not make it to the end of that one.
But it does tie into the film. So I have all those ingredients. I'm assuming you do as well, except maybe Everclear. I don't know. You have Everclear?
I think I do.
I think I got it just to light stuff on fire, but I have it.
Yeah, I think that's why I have it too. And I didn't light stuff on fire.
Well, the one I have is 151, it says. So it's not like the Everclear of the good old days, Karen, when we were in college. Remember those?
No, they were designed so you don't remember them.
The hairy buffalo parties.
The hairy buffalo parties are not spoken of today.
I don't know. I don't have any bad experience, but whatever. You don't want to talk about it? We won't. Did you run around like you were invisible, Karen?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Sorry to disappoint.
All right, Karen, anyone you need to thank this episode?
Well, as always, I want to thank everyone who listens. There's a lot of podcasts out there, so we appreciate you spending your time with us.
We appreciate you investing your time in us.
You can be nude.
Yeah, you can listen in the shower.
Nude or not nude.
Yeah.
You be you.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get that in there in case we were like at 48 and I want to get to 50.
Karen, I need to once again thank the band Verse 13, as well as everyone who listened to our Wicked Ramblings episode.
Yeah, let us know what you think about those. We're pretty excited about them. I hope that everyone enjoys those.
If you have suggestions or if you would like to be a guest host.
Do you have a special talent?
You have a special hobby or talent, which is dark and foreboding and
maybe you plant skulls in your garden. I don't know. Maybe something like that.
Maybe you chase UFOs or leprechauns. Shit, I don't know. Anything like that? Right, Karen?
Yeah, please contact us. We'd be interested in learning all about it.
Yes, there is a contact us link on our website. Anything else, Karen?
Please drink responsibly.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to the Scary Spirits podcast, where the movies might be iffy, but the drinks are always solid. We would love to hear from you. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Scary Spirits Podcast, or go to our website, scaryspirits.com. And if you want the direct line, email us at info@scaryspirits.com. If you really want to help us out, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And remember, always drink responsibly. See you next week.